Hello, my name is Dr. Swati Patel. I'm a gastroenterologist at the University of Colorado and the Rocky Mountain Regional VA Medical Center. On behalf of my co-authors on the United States Multi-Society Task Force on Colorectal Cancer Screening, I'm delighted to have the opportunity to discuss our recently published recommendations on when to start and when to stop colorectal cancer screening in the general population. This document provides concise guidance to clinicians about when we should be recommending colorectal cancer screening in individuals whom we consider average risk. Those are individuals without a family history of colorectal cancer and without symptoms. In alignment with multiple other professional societies, such as the United States Preventive Services Task Force, the American Cancer Society, as well as the National Comprehensive Cancer Network, the United States Multi-Society Task Force now recommends starting colorectal cancer screening in all individuals at age 45. This is a change from the 2017 recommendations, which were to start average risk screening at age 50. Before we dive into why we made this change, a word about who we are. The Multi-Society Task Force is a unique body comprised of gastroenterologists from the American College of Gastroenterology, the American Gastroenterological Association, and the American Society of Gastrointestinal Endoscopy. This group provides consensus recommendations that are reviewed and approved by the governing boards of each individual society. On November 15, 2021, the US MSTF published a focused update which suggests beginning average risk screening at age 45. Similar to the screening document in 2017, we re-emphasized that the target of screening should be both early detection of colorectal cancer and also prevention of colorectal cancer via colonoscopic polypectomy. Our recommendation to decrease the starting age to 45 from 50 is based on three main areas of developing evidence. The first is that there's now resounding evidence that the burden of colorectal cancer in individuals under the age of 50 is increasing. We've seen a steady rise in the incidence and mortality associated with colon cancer and rectal cancer in these patient populations. Colorectal cancer is now the second most common cancer in those under the age of 50 and the third leading cause of cancer-related death. In 2020, it was estimated that 11% of all colon cancers and 15% of all rectal cancers were diagnosed in individuals under the age of 50. So clearly the burden of disease in this patient population is increasing. The second body of evidence is developing data suggesting that the yield of screening in individuals ages 45 to 49 appears to be very similar to the yield of screening in those ages 50 to 59. A recently published systematic review meta-analysis performed by Dr. Jennifer Kolb and published in Gastroenterology showed that the yield of colonoscopy in those age 45 to 49 who were considered average risk was similar when looking at rates of advanced colorectal neoplasia as those ages 50 to 59. Similarly, data from the New Hampshire Colonoscopy Registry showed that average risk equivalent individuals ages 45 to 49 had the same rates of advanced colorectal neoplasia as average risk individuals ages 50 to 54. Thus, we expect to find the same rates of advanced neoplasia in those ages 45 to 49 compared to those already eligible and undergoing screening right now. Finally, we now have substantial modeling studies that show that initiating screening at age 45 may in fact be more beneficial than harmful to our patients. The modeling studies that informed the United States Preventive Services Task Force recommendation showed that of the 57 strategies that were preferred or felt to be efficient, 47 of these recommended starting screening at age 45. A recent cost-effectiveness study published by Yuri Lauterbom in Gastroenterology demonstrated that starting screening at age 45 is indeed cost-effective. Thus, based on these three main bodies of evidence, that the burden of disease is increasing, that the yield of screening in 45 to 49-year-olds may be similar as in older patients, and that the benefits appear to outweigh the harms and costs in this patient population, really these three areas of evidence supported our updated recommendation to initiate screening at age 45. It's important to note that there was insufficient data to recommend a customized approach to screening in those under the age of 50. Thus, our recommendation remains to approach screening in a tiered fashion, as was outlined in the 2017 recommendation, where fecal immunochemical testing and colonoscopy are considered tier 1 options. And there, of course, are certainly many questions that remain in terms of whether we should have a customized approach to screening in this young population, whether personalized screening will be an option, and then, of course, how to ensure equitable access to screening for all patient populations. Despite these unanswered questions, we are confident that starting screening at age 45 has the potential to save and improve lives. We can decrease the burden of disease in young individuals with screening, which has immense implications in terms of financial toxicity associated with cancer diagnosis and treatment, especially in otherwise young, healthy, and productive members of society. These are individuals who are caregivers. They're often taking care of not only younger generations, but also potentially caregivers for older generations. They have decades of contribution remaining. Early detection of cancer at a curable stage and cancer prevention is extremely important in these young individuals. So in summary, the Multi-Society Task Force is now in alignment with multiple other professional societies and recommends colorectal cancer screening in average risk individuals starting at age 45.